49. The last president inaugurated in the United States. The span of terrible days after the global comms blackout when the world was reshaped. The number of strange supernatural phenomena that appear around the globe. You're listening to The 49, the new series by Andrew Kooman. Get the content right in your inbox when you subscribe at the49.substack.com. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Welcome to the world of The 49.
The brothers stood kitty corner to the improvised explosive device that Foxtrot, moments earlier, had disarmed. "Look at this," Joyride said, and he leaned back. He spread his arms out as he fell, but his body stopped before he hit the ground. He lay at a 70-degree angle. He smiled and pulled his hands behind his head as though he was laying by a pool on a lounge chair. "Some kind of force field?" Foxtrot asked. "Must be. Try it. It feels kind of nice." Foxtrot backed up until his legs bumped up against the invisible barrier. He slowly leaned back until gravity pulled him down, but stopped. His back and torso bobbed in the air as he rested against the invisible barrier. "Impressive. That's some pretty advanced tech. Who do you think, Mossad?" "I don't know, but why do I have a feeling we're being watched?" Joyride asked. Foxtrot just closed his eyes. "Muscle memory?" Joyride asked, which elicited a smile from his brother. "Another familiar feeling," Foxtrot said. "Eyes in the walls, eyes in the sky," he said. "When you hear the drones humming, you better run and hide." Joyride finished. "We're used to surveillance," Foxtrot mumbled. Part question, part fact. They heard a thud as another object appeared, followed soon after by another. "Oh, good, more presents," Joyride panned, and he kicked up his leg to give momentum to pull his upper body out of his temporary lounging position. He walked over to one of the bundles. Foxtrot followed suit. There were 2 canvas bags with leather straps. Joyride squatted beside one and unzipped it. He looked inside. "Clothes," he said. He pulled out the contents and held up a dark camo jumpsuit. "What do you think?" Foxtrot unzipped the bag at his feet and pulled out a similar jumpsuit. "I'd say let's put them on. If we're being watched, no need for us to parade around in our gonch any longer." He dug around in the bag and found something else underneath the clothing. "Mine has a mask in it too." He pulled out the mask. It was black, with brown and black blots. The eyes had yellow lenses on them, and the mask protruded at the center to give room for the wearer's nose. The protrusion had 2 small slits, as did the small rectangle for the mouth, a grid to let air in and out. White teeth and red gums were painted below the nose and covered most of the bottom third of the mask. It was garish, Halloween-like, ugly. 2 thick elastic straps, one at the forehead, one at the chin, wrapped around the back. Foxtrot held it up. "Does this ring a bell?" he asked. Joyride was halfway dressed. The camouflage jumpsuit pulled up to this waist. He tied the arms around his waist and remained shirtless. He held out his hand and took the mask from his brother. He looked it over as Foxtrot started to dress. He zipped the suit up. It fit, almost. It was a little long in the legs and arms, as though, teenager that he was, he put on his dad's coat. He rolled up the sleeves and made cuffs. He did the same at the ankles. What is it, a Halloween mask? Not sure. It doesn't seem military. It looks like something someone would wear in a bank heist in a movie before... Foxtrot stopped himself. "Before what?" Joyride asked. "In the times before we are now," he said opaquely. "Gee, that's super deep. You sure have a way with words." "It's all the homeschooling," he smiled. He nodded at Joyride, who took the cue and put on the mask. "How do I look?" he asked, his voice muffled by the mask. "Better," Foxtrot quipped. "Haha, this thing stinks. It smells like a fat kid puked up his Halloween candy." Joyride took it off and handed it to Foxtrot. "Smell it. I'll take your word for it." "So what, do they think we robbed a bank?" Joyride asked. "I don't know what they think. Plus, who's they?" "The people who run the world. The ones who put us here."
The door to the green room slid open. Boyer turned at the hiss, which surprised her, since she was so engrossed in the scene on the screen in front of her. "You ready?" a woman with a headset asked. "You'll be on soon. Come this way." "Where are we going?" "Follow me. Leave that here. You can't take anything in with you," the woman said, without looking back at Boyer as she stepped down the hallway. Boyer took a sip from the water bottle she held in her hand, then put it on the table. She hurried to catch up to the woman. We're underneath the main lot right now. This network of tunnels feeds into all the sets. They want you raised. Raised? Boyer asked. Lifted. Sorry, what? A vortex lift, to be exact. It's a really cool effect. You emerge from below on a lift, but this one will slowly spin. It has cameras mounted on it. You won't see them, of course, but they'll capture your point of view as you emerge. Catch the brothers' faces. How fast will I spin? Don't worry. It'll be safe. On the lift, and from the boys. If they try anything, there's a sniper or two who will deal with that. A sniper? Yeah, at least 2. With tranquilizers. So, on the off chance they hit you, you'll just have a nap. Nothing to worry about. Here we are. The woman stopped. Any questions? She asked. She had stopped and turned so quickly. Boyer stepped right into her and almost knocked the clipboard the woman carried out of her hands. The woman calmly adjusted her headset as Boyer stood back. Questions? Of course I have questions, Boyer said. What am I supposed to do out there, standing in this ridiculous costume with this ridiculous hair weave? I just show up in front of 2 strangers whose memories have been wiped while 1,000 people watch. Hundreds of thousands. While hundreds of thousands of people watch? Couple million, really, the woman corrected. You got it. I'm not an actress. You're not here to act. You're a witness. Just roll with it. Human evidence, character witnesses are rare, but they're some of the most popular. And the contrast of your exotic beauty and their raw masculine power with that schoolboy innocence will make people go wild. This isn't a game. It actually is. It's the game, and it will be must-watch. Boyer wanted to drop-kick the woman, make a run for it. She wanted to kick some sense into her, kick her out of her entitled, cynical smarm. She imagined one solid roundhouse kick. Her leg would be in the air, and the leather tongue of the boot they'd dressed her in would be planted against the woman's face. The headset and the clipboard would still be hanging in the air, the woman's unconscious body on the floor. Before she knew what hit her, there would be a certain poetry to it, a certain justice. The woman sensed a shift, sensed the inner workings of Boyer's deep inner world, and got into motion. So, step up here on this platform. You put your feet there. There's no straps. It doesn't spin very fast, but you'll want to hold on to the 2 rails as it moves up. Keep your arms in, because it's a little tight as you rise up through the floor. They say to bend slightly at the knees so you don't fall over once the spinning starts. She took a step back and pointed at a light above them on a monitor. When that light moves from red to green, the lift will start to raise. That's your cue. Then what? The woman was walking down the hall now, and over her shoulder she said, "Then it's game time." The woman was gone, and Boyer was alone. She stepped up onto the platform and stood on the metal plates, shaped like feet, and grabbed hold of the rail on either side. A ping of regret flooded her as she leaned over and centered herself, breathing slow and deep. She should have dropped that woman to the ground and kicked some godly fear into her. God knows the whole corridor needs it, Boyer thought. But the boot would have just smashed bone, ripped cartilage, ruined the woman's face, changed exactly nothing. Boyer stood back up. Above her, the red light disappeared. She sucked in a breath. The green light glowed. The lift started to move upward.
Thanks for listening to this portion of The 49 by Andrew Kooman. New content drops for paid subscribers every Monday at the49.substack.com. That's the49.substack.com. On Tuesdays, we release new audio on all your favorite podcast platforms. If you like what you're hearing, make sure you subscribe and to share it with a friend. Thanks for listening to The 49.